right. Well, so Patrick, thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate you coming here, and always a delight to spend time with you, really and truly. So thank you again for being here. Look, tell me about how you got into owning the Ward Specialty Pharmacy. You know, I know a little bit of your story. I find it absolutely fascinating. And I think you should share just a little bit of that with folks because I think it's interesting.
Thank you, sir, for having me this
Yeah.
afternoon. It's a long story, but I have to make it short, right? So way back in 2011, when I started here, I started, as a volunteer with Gary. So it's just
And
actually,
that was the previous owner of Ward Pharmacy.
yes,
Not everybody knows Gary, but
Gary
yeah.
Glisson is actually the previous owner.
Yeah.
So way back in 2009, I was actually volunteering, going with our parish priest here. And then when I was going back home, they asked me, what do I need? And I said, I just need to, do internship with my profession as a pharmacist.
Right.
So they actually, wrote letters to all the pharmacists here in Rocky Mount and Nashville. One responded. It was actually Gary Glisson. So I started actually, doing my internship with Gary, and then we volunteered. And then we had a click actually in terms of, our relationship, and then he sponsored us, and that's actually how it started. So way back in 2011, I've been working with him. He gave me actually the opportunity, to be here in the community. And again, I would say, sir, me and my wife, I'm very grateful with the community.
Sure.
Who really, allowed us, to be here. And that's how, I started my career here as a pharmacist. There are opportunities that I can work somewhere else, but I did not choose to opt to leave because I believe that there's a need for compounding. And so far, I'm very proud to say that we are the only ones who has a compounding pharmacy in the 40-mile radius. And
so let's back up. Yeah, I know what a compounding pharmacist is, but I don't think everybody listening does, right? So
True.
it's not. I just don't go in and get my Losartan, or maybe I do, but maybe I need it in the form of I don't know, a lollipop or some sort of suspension or something else. And it's probably not Losartan, but it's probably some other more complicated compound. But you can whip up under the hood, and produce it in a way that is different than others. So I've just butchered that, but that's a very generic understanding. But it's a big deal. I mean, there are not many people that do that. There's a lot of expense and a lot of labor and a lot of time and a lot of skill involved in compounding drugs for folks.
Yeah, it's more in the skill and the training, really.
Yeah.
Not all pharmacists can do compounding. Let's face it.
And you're doing a lot of IVs, I would imagine.
We don't do the
Okay.
IVs. So we're doing actually the non-sterile compounding.
Okay.
We don't have the capability of doing the sterile. So there's two kinds of compounding: the non-sterile and sterile, meaning the injectable and the non-injectable.
Right.
So the compounding is really mixing medications from scratch. So why are we compounding? Maybe that's the best question is. One, if the drug is not commercially available, that's the time we compound. Second is that if the medication, needs to be altered, let's say if we need to convert a pill into a liquid form or in a cream form, we can do that. And third is that, if you have an allergy to specific, ingredients and we need to remove that, then we have the ability, to do that. So those are basically the things, why we do compound. We compound for general purposes for both women and men as well. We also compound medications for animals. So that's the good thing about it. So especially, some would crash pills for medication for pets. But the problem with that, you're not giving the right dosing, or sometimes, the crumbs on the floor can be picked up if you have like babies, at home. And then that's dangerous. Unlike with compounding, we make sure that, it's really, the right dosing that you're getting, out of the medication.
Right. And that's important, obviously, for all the obvious reasons. So look, Ward Pharmacy started in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. And it started, it's been around for 90 some years?
It's almost 100 years.
Almost 100. When will 100-year anniversary be?
Well, I think it's actually 1901 or 1911, something like that.
Okay.
It started in Nashville.
Okay.
So it's been passed from generation to generation. So Again, humbly to say that I'm actually, an Asian descent. So
Yeah.
before they say, it's white, 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 and then it's actually, brown owners.
Well, how about this one spirit, one family of spirit, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, because obviously you saw an opportunity, and look, I'm assuming that you came and you worked as an internship so that you could actually qualify for a license in this country. That
Yes,
you were
sir.
trained pharmacists, but you needed to have a little bit of experience to be able to put that on the application to be able to get the
Yes.
good housekeeping seal of approval.
Exactly. And it's not just, just a transfer, I mean,
Right.
I have to take like almost like 4 exams still that I have to,
Is that
we have to
right?
pass, sir. And fortunately, we were able to actually, pass it. So that's
Sure.
why we were able to practice, that one. And the opportunity that you mentioned for me, I mean, it's not more on the monetary, opportunity, but the opportunity really to serve the community.
Right.
And I would say, during the time of the pandemic, sir, I mean, we were
Yeah.
we were actually fortunate that we were able to serve a lot of individuals, from the mountains and through the coast.
Right.
Typically, our pharmacy is open from 9 to 6, but during that time, we're open from 9 to 11. Our only break is actually going to the bathroom.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And I'm so lucky to say, I mean, happy to say that nobody actually got sick, from among our staff, during the time of the pandemic. So we are a resource in the community. And I don't want to dwell on the, that particular medication, which became controversial, during that time.
Right. Right.
But yes, we are a resource in the community. We compound, pain creams,
Right.
hormones.
Sure.
We compound, medication for pediatrics, which, it's helping a lot of people really. So,
Oh, look, I know my wife has a very difficult time swallowing pills. So chewables work well for her. And that's an instance where it makes a difference in terms of her ability to be able to take the medications and which are important to her. And so we started in Nashville, moved to Rocky Mount. You were interned during that period of time. And I know you've got a new location, well, relatively new, within the last 4 or 5 years on Winstead Avenue. So how did that transition occur?
well, again, sir, I mean, it was really difficult because when Gary mentioned that he's about to close the pharmacy,
Right.
and I told him, sir, what will happen now for those people who needs the compounding? And he said, what's your plan? I said, I feel like I'll take the responsibility of, pursuing and continuing actually,
Right.
the task. It was difficult because, Gary said, I don't have any money to give to you.
Right.
So it was literally, all the things that we have left. I used that, so with zero money really. I mean,
Okay. So you took the inventory, you took the customer base, and you were providing
Yes.
the labor, and
yes,
and you guys obviously sold the inventory, which created cash to be able to buy more.
right. And even all those shelves that been using, I mean, we borrowed it from somebody else. In fact,
Okay.
the owner of that shelf told me like, oh, you have to return that after 6 months. I did not actually picture that because I told myself, I should not fail.
Right.
And even one of the windows, I pick it up on the streets of Nashville. I even
Okay.
actually wrote a note there. Whoever actually owns this window, if you need it, please call me.
Did they?
So it's still actually in
Okay.
the old building.
Sure.
And Mr. Barnhill here in Rocky Mount
Sure.
was also
Mike
very,
Barnhill, I think.
yes,
you're
Mike
talking about.
Barnhill
Yes,
was so very helpful also in allowing us to move into that place. I'm so indebted with the gesture also that he even actually went to Nashville and talked to me during that time. So that's
Okay.
how I actually started the business here in Rocky Mount. So that was actually sometime 2014 that we started here in Rocky Mount, sir.
And look, you've been a tremendous asset to the community. I have had the pleasure of getting to know you over the last couple of years and really have enjoyed each of our interactions. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about your new business, My Menu Heart to Home Meals. But, the thing that has been so interesting is, and I don't think a lot of folks know, is there's a fairly large Filipino community here in Rocky Mount. And you've been very helpful and instrumental in bringing people and making them feel comfortable and connecting in the community. And that's something I think is tremendous. And a lot of them are teachers. So just talk a little bit about that, because I think it's pretty cool.
So yes, again, Patrick is actually a Filipino in descent.
Sure.
So we moved here, and we also now have a growing population of Filipinos,
Right.
Americans here in Rocky Mount.
Right.
And right now, I mean, I think one of the experts that we have here now are mostly, teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing so far that I've been hearing, from Nash County is that, I mean, they were very, very instrumental, in improving, the measures of
Sure.
Nash County,
Yeah.
which is again amazing. So yes, we've been trying to help them also because there's two kinds of teachers that's coming here. One, those that are H1 visas, and
Right.
then the other one is actually the J1 visa or the foreign exchange.
Right.
So I believe we also
And both
have
are administered through the Department of Agriculture, if I'm not mistaken, right? At least the H-1B is. I'm
the
not sure about the J-
H1B. No, sorry, it's totally different.
It's
So
the
it's
other way
not-
around, the J1.
So the J1 is actually it's like a training thing.
Yep.
And then the H1 visa, they're actually more longer and they can
Right.
actually stay permanent. The J1 they cannot.
Okay.
In fact, the last time, sir, you actually helped also to recognize one of the
Mm-hmm.
teachers who actually happened to retire teaching already. Teaching here
Right.
in Rocky Mount. And then we also have I think 4 teachers that was recognized by Representative Chesser
Right.
for actually completing their 5 years stay in teaching in Nash County. And now we have a lot, I think almost 100, close to 100 teachers here in Rocky Mount helping.
Wow.
And
I knew it had
teaching.
grown to a fairly large number, and they're not just teaching in Rocky Mount. They're in multiple counties around the area, but they're making Rocky Mount the hub.
Yeah, there are also a lot of teachers now in all over
Yeah.
the United States. But
Yeah.
yes, we have a good number. That's why the Filipino population grew somehow in terms of numbers here in Rocky Mount.
Well, I think it's fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
and all that they're doing, all that you're doing is great. I've had a little bit of experience with J1 to
H1Bs.
H1B, but primarily in trying to create rural health clinics a long
Mm-hmm.
time ago. Coming over as a teacher and then trying to transition to a longer term process. And look, it's been something that's been very beneficial to our community and continues to be. So thank you for what you're doing on that. Thank you for
Well,
helping those folks. I believe the people coming over are really benefiting a lot. And I think the impact to our educational system and to our school systems has been pretty tremendous as well. So it's a win-win.
yes, sir. Likewise, I mean, they're the community is also helping their families.
Right.
I mean, they were able to support their families way back in the
Sure.
Philippines. So it's really a great opportunity for them as well.
So, all right. Going back to Ward Pharmacy. So you came here, immigrated here, you got certified or licensed. I think licensed is probably the correct term.
Yes,
and
sir.
and it required that you took some tests and you showed a mentor interim, period of time where you worked under somebody. And so now here you are, you're a pharmacist. Now you own a pharmacy, compounding pharmacy, and kept the business.
Mhm.
And, so now you're pivoting a little bit into this, heart to home meals.
Uh-huh.
And you and I talked about this probably, gosh, it feels like maybe a year ago. I'm not sure it was. But how long have you been doing this? Maybe 6 months, 8 months?
So
something?
we opened last May.
Okay, so it has been almost a year. Okay.
So, but the conceptualization was last 2023.
Yeah. Okay, so walk us through it. So what do you do exactly? What is Heart for Home
So
Meals?
just to give an overview first, way back in 2023,
Right.
sir, after pandemic, I mean, we have the ability, we have this, machine wherein we can actually check whether the person's mental, is declining.
Okay.
So, or because again, I mean, it's more geared towards dementia.
Okay.
And my goal was to launch, zero dementia. In fact, I think I even approached you. Ms.
You
Cory,
did. You have.
about
Well,
it.
we still haven't quite finished
Yes.
that conversation, but anyway, that's
And then every time, I'm doing actually consultations with most of the patients. I mean, we always talk about, nutrition. And that is something that actually always come about. Why is that? Again, remember, we're in the South, sir. The most common or popular meals that we have are, sweets and fats, right?
oh sure, and they taste delicious.
Exactly. But again,
They
I
don't
mean,
look so pretty, but
But then again, I mean, that those two combination is a time bomb. It's causing actually inflammation, more
Right.
diabetes, and of course, again, I mean, for most or maybe some, they are not aware that dementia is a form of diabetes. It's a type 3 diabetes right now. So I said, what's the purpose of running the program if the root cause of the problem is actually there?
Right.
So that's how I started.
Look, it's the root cause of a lot of things, right? Not just dementia, but I mean, diabetes, which creates all kinds of other challenges, stroke and heart disease, and right?
Exactly. And that's why, and again, I mean, it's affecting our healthcare, and I said, have to dive in really, to the root cause of the problem. I started looking for a solution. Most of the meal company here are run by corporate, so they're not actually, through the grassroots. So I happened to stumble on Heart to Home Meals.
Okay.
They are actually based in UK. They are, providing meals for hospitals, for long-term care facility, education, prison. But in North America, they're actually, more on individuals. So, but later on, that's actually, the goal. So the good thing about this one is that, it's a service that we're actually catering more. Right now, we're the only franchises in the United States.
Okay.
And it's actually here in Rocky Mount. So that's one good news, right?
Yeah. So I wonder, how'd you find it though? I mean, it's in the UK, and because I've never heard anything like this. And
so again, through research.
Sure, the concept, I understand. You're having these consults, you're seeing this experience, and you're beginning to realize, well, nutrition, particularly with elderly populations, is a little bit of concern. And it's
and access also to meals, especially, in the rural areas.
Sure.
So
I love fast food, but it's not serving everything that I need to be as healthy as I should be.
Right. So again, I stumbled on this one, and I found out that there's actually several franchises already in Canada.
Okay.
So I flew in Canada, sir. December of 2023, I flew to Canada, and I stayed there for a few days and went through, different franchises there.
Okay.
And I saw actually, the need really, and I told myself also that, with compounds or medication, sometimes, you get some rejection, but with food, everybody's eating, right? And then I noticed, sir, the population in Canada, going back, when I was in Canada, the population is very little, but they're actually thriving. So compared to the population here, which is actually a lot. So I went back here and said, I wanted to, to do it. But when I started actually looking for funding, that was actually in 2024.
Okay.
They said, if you have connections or you have already a business, and then, but I still got rejected 6 times.
Okay.
So, but again, my mission is actually bigger than the challenges. So
of course,
I went back to
look, you are the king of perseverance. You're the king of overcoming. There's no question about that. You and your wife are just dynamos that way.
Thanks, sir. I did not think of failure that time. So I said, I will try. So I went back to SBA, and finally they actually, granted it.
Okay.
So, May of this year, we did somehow, the opening. I did not actually had a major grand, opening yet, because again,
but I've seen a couple of billboards out there, and of course you and I have talked, and so I'm seeing some marketing out there.
Yes, sir. So that's the thing. Right now we're catering to 17 counties. I'm very active. Like today, I have 3 presentations done. We have already partnership with different counties as well, like Halifax, for instance. And then
so what are you doing for Halifax County?
For Halifax counties, we're actually providing, they have their Council of Aging, and we're actually providing meals for them, like
a Meals on Wheels like organization, I suppose. As part of the the Department of Aging in the county. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, here it's actually the Meals on Wheels, but in other areas, I think they don't have the Meals on Wheels because again, the administrative cost is also a challenge for those organizations, and of course, delivering actually meals, especially in far-flung areas, it's impossible. So we provide that service, sir. Because the good thing about Heart to Home Meals is that you don't have any contract to make. You don't have any. There's no contract. There's no subscription, and it's free delivery. Right. So that's the beauty. Unlike with other companies that you have to have a contract, you need to have a subscription in order for you to get your meals.
Okay.
And at the same time, it's being shipped. Unlike us, we actually deliver it ourselves, to the person. And in fact, we are actually putting these meals into their freezer.
Okay.
So the partnership that we're doing is that it's beyond only just the meals.
Okay.
Why? Because we can serve like a pair of eyes, to provide, like if somebody is actually needing help, and we can call, their caregivers and tell them, oh, Mr. So and so is actually needing help. We've also experienced sometimes such, the folks would actually request to somehow change their bulb, or
Right.
sometimes if you come there to their house and the alarm is actually beeping, so we
Sure.
can call the
Sure.
fire
Might
chief.
just be a battery, or it might
Yes,
be whatever,
uh-huh.
but nonetheless, you're having some interaction.
Yes,
in the
there's
community.
actually interactions with it.
So how do I find you?
So-
I mean, I get it. Maybe I'm homebound. Maybe I'm not. But
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have the ability to cook myself. Maybe I'm disabled in some form or fashion. I mean, how do I connect with you?
So you can call us at 252. There's two way calling
Okay.
us, at the head office, or going through the website. So
Okay.
our phone number is 252-242-0025.
Okay.
Or you can go to the website, it's www.hearttohomemeals.com.
Okay.
Our meal price is actually from $7, to $14 per
Okay.
meal.
Okay.
And again, there's no minimum. You can go and get 4, 5, meals, or
Okay.
even good for 1 week. So it would really depend.
Okay. So I can select, I guess, from a menu, a catalog of some sorts. I mean,
Yes.
that looks like what you might have here.
So
I don't know.
we have a catalog. So,
Right.
Mr. Mayor, we have 100.
So I can go and I can find
Yes.
something based on my budget, based on what my tastes are. And,
Yes, we have 160 selections in there.
Oh, wow. Do you
So-
maintain an inventory of 160?
Yes,
In
sir.
your shop? You
yes,
do?
sir.
Oh, wow.
We do. So,
So you got a walk-in freezer in there somewhere.
we do. So we have a 16 by 25
Okay,
walk-in
yeah.
freezer. And the good thing about the meals is that it's prepared by chef and nutritionist.
Okay.
Now, again, one of the things that I don't like with with frozen meals is that they put too much salt and sugar
Sure.
with it. So one thing about heart to home meals is that the chef and nutritionist, we don't actually put those salt and sugar component. So in fact, I mean, the way our chef actually prepared it is the right combination of herbs.
Okay.
So
All right.
again,
So you have flavor, so not necessarily salt. Okay.
yes, not necessarily salt, because again, salt and sugar is being used as a preservative, right? But with this one, if you would actually look at the page here, so we have here NutriFacts at the back,
Okay.
wherein you can find all the
Okay.
nutrients.
I see.
And
yeah, I got it.
the salt component, which you would definitely see in most of the frozen meals, they are actually very high.
Right.
And our meals, the salt requirement typically is 2,000 milligrams. But if you would actually look at the salt component here, it's below 1,000.
Okay.
So that's one.
Yep.
And then the sugar component, typically in most meals, they have at least 10 to 15% of the total calorie, or total calorie. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But here you are only seeing actually 5%. Very, very low.
Okay. Okay.
But it won't actually taste bland.
Okay.
So the meals will still be flavorful. So that's actually the amazing things about heart to home meals.
So I'm looking at this right here. I just happened to open it up.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional turkey dinner. How perfect. We're going into Thanksgiving
Yes,
here. 270 calories, 6 grams of sugar, and 35 carbs, and 1 of saturated fat, 730 milligrams of sodium. So these have been prepared, or at least the menu has been directed by a registered dietitian, I'm assuming,
Yes,
a
sir.
dietitian. And then the chef is coming up with ways to get this to as the best possible, low sodium, and those things are taken into consideration. So I call you on your website.
Mhm.
You show up. You bring me, I don't know, a week's worth, 3 meals a day, I suppose, and you're putting it in the freezer. So then I'm just popping them in my microwave.
Mhm. You can actually put it in the microwave or an oven. And again, they're very safe.
I can also put it in the oven. Okay, great.
They're recyclables too. So it's not really just, plain plastic that would melt. No, it
Okay.
won't. Mhm.
Okay, great. Well, this is fantastic. So I think it is most interesting that you stumbled across this, and you've reached the service, and you're doing 17 counties now. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir. We're delivering actually to 17 counties. And again, I mean, as a pharmacist, I've been always telling this, right? In the pharmacist, we actually work, in the four corners. But now that I'm actually, going out, I'm seeing actually the most vulnerable person,
Sure.
especially the elderly, those homebound.
Sure.
As I was saying, in the pharmacy, I never cried, but every time that actually we're doing a delivery, or I actually go to the elderly's home, I felt emotional because
Sure.
number one, they would tell you, thank you for doing
Right.
this one. You're the only person that I've been seeing. I never thought of that, sir.
Right.
That's actually happening, at this point in time.
And I don't think any of that's intentional. I think it just kind of happens. People get busy in their world, their life, and we forget about shut-in folks. And when we do, it's a little bit, but it's not enough, right? And they're a valuable part of our community and our society, and we should honor them for all that they've done for us. But
exactly, we should not forget them.
that's right.
Because again, they became part of the society. They have contributed a lot.
That's right.
We can't just neglect them.
So, but I guess you're kind of the DoorDash of healthy meals.
Yep, the professional DoorDash.
The professional,
right?
that's right. And you're stocking it, and you're providing that interaction, which it also has the added value of things like you're talking about. If the fire alarm is going off and the battery needs to be replaced, then you provide extra eyes, and that's a value-added service, we'll call that. Well, look,
and I also wanted to emphasize here that right now, we are now Medicaid Cap DA provider.
Well, you should have led with that. That's a big deal. So you can actually bill Medicaid for these items, and so it could be free of charge or certainly reduced charge to some people who qualify.
Yes, sir. So those who are Medicaid Cap DA, the only thing that they have to do is reach out to their case managers, so that their case manager can actually connect with us also. So they have like they're getting actually this benefits as well. So
sure. Okay, so that is fantastic. So Medicaid and how about SNAP? Does SNAP cover this as well?
Not at the moment, sir, because again, SNAP is under the Department of Agriculture,
Right.
so they're not actually just Medicaid.
Okay.
So we have to look for ways to go
No, I
around
understand.
that.
I was asking. It's I know it's not the same, but they're certainly closely related.
When we're also working on Medicare, so hopefully by next
Okay.
year, we are already Medicare provider.
I understand Medicare and Medicaid. So
Yes, sir.
Medicare, just for those who don't know, typically are benefits for folks over the age of 65. It comes in three parts. Part A, which tends to be a hospitalization or a skilled nursing stay, home health or hospice. And then Part B, which will cover ancillary supplies like catheters and other things. And then, of course, Part C and D tend to be drug related.
You know it well, sir.
I spend a great deal of time in that part of the world, right? So anyway, anyway, that's so this will also be a covered benefit. So that's that'll be significant for your business and very helpful for a lot of people out there who just don't have the resources. It's a lot of people who are struggling, particularly on fixed incomes. So
Yes, sir.
this becomes a very invaluable service. And when I'm looking at the price points, it's really not crazy.
Yes, sir. And we're again, we're very excited that those what do you call this? Case managers from different counties are
Right.
now reaching out. So we're done actually presenting to Edgecombe, Halifax, and then this morning was actually Nash County as
Okay.
well.
Great.
And of course, other hospitals also that
Sure.
are looking for this opportunity.
Well, look, we've run out of time. It's been the blink of an eye. And as
know.
always, I enjoy a visit with you. I hope you much success. I think this is a great program that you're engaged in. And I think it's something that's going to be very helpful to people and individuals in our community. And look, I appreciate you for having the heart to serve.